Our solar system is roughly 18 billion miles across, and the Earth itself is about 25,000 miles around at the equator, housing more than 7 billion people at the present. God created all of this. And yet, His greatest desire is a personal friendship with you. He cares about you and has a distinct purpose for you here on earth. Have you ever thought about that purpose? About what you can do for others?
What voice have you heard calling you for help? Do you have a picture of who that is? Have you taken time to consider what your life could mean in helping someone else? Today we continue our discussion on friendship and friendship with God. One night, a man by the name of Victorius appeared to his friend Patrick in a dream. Patrick had known Victorius in Ireland, and when Victorius appeared to him in his English homeland in this dream, he held a letter with the heading, "The Voice of the Irish." And then Patrick heard a voice of a multitude crying, "We beg you to come and walk among us once more." You know, the ordinary person might be surprised, even happy, to have an old friend or even a multitude appear to them in a dream. But Patrick's life was different. The Irish at this time were a barbaric collection of Celtic tribes, and they were regularly sending out raiding parties to capture slaves and the riches. One day, a great fleet of boats swept up the west coast of Britain and seized many thousands of young prisoners. Among these prisoners, there was a young man by the name of Patrick. And Patrick was taken to the slave markets in Ireland. Although he was educated and spoiled as a youth, he now found himself bound to slavery. He had lived outdoors in the cold highlands of Ireland as a captive to brutal slave traders. Destitute, with barely any clothing and food to eat, he would spend months in the highlands with little to no contact with other humans. Yet, in this place, he developed a friendship with Victorius and a deep relationship with God. Victorius was a reminder to Patrick of Ireland's need for help. Victorius was also an Irishman trapped in the same slavery that Patrick had experienced. Perhaps you are like Victorius and you need help. Or perhaps you've had a picture in your heart of someone you would like to help. As a young woman, Mother Teresa, who was suffering from tuberculosis, heard the call within the call. She knew she was to leave the convent in Calcutta and work with the poor living among them. With only 5 rupees in her hand, she started a school in the slums to teach the children of the poor. Mother Teresa, recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize and India's highest civilian award, set up nearly 570 homes for the poor in 125 countries. Like Patrick and Mother Teresa, one idea, one thought from God can bring significant change, not only to your life, but to the lives of those you know in your community and in your nation. When we are facing life's deepest tragedies and our most serious personal problems, often the thing we need the most is to hear the voice of someone else who is asking for help. Have you heard that voice? Ask yourself this question: who needs my help in my community? The scriptures say, "How beautiful are the feet of messengers who bring good news." How will anyone go and tell them without being sent? Are you willing? Patrick's dream of helping the Irish is relentless, and finally he surrenders and trains for the ministry in France. A few years later, he emerges from seminary as a young bishop, and in 432, the ex-Irish slave Patrick arrives on the shores of Ireland and becomes the first known missionary to Ireland. By the time of Patrick's death, the Irish slave trade had ended and murder and intertribal warfare significantly decreased. Both Mother Teresa and St. Patrick are an example of good news in action. And I believe as you are listening to me today, you are receiving courage to act on good news, to act on the idea that God has given you. You can become a modern-day missionary of good news. Patrick gives us hope that we can help even those who have mistreated us. He shows us that it is possible to persevere and that you can overcome the hardships of life. Like Mother Teresa, you can rise above poverty, and with only 5 rupees, and even with sickness, she made a better life for millions of people. Today, you can be that friend, that caring voice of encouragement, as Victorious was to Patrick, and as Patrick was to an entire nation. You can help someone else find their destiny. So, go ahead, take the risk. You won't be disappointed. Mother Teresa said, "Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow has not yet come. We have only today. Let us begin." So go to my website today, because we are here to help you discover your dream, and we have tools available that will help you on the roadmap to your destination.